Hey, folks, welcome back to the lab. Well, yeah, some exciting news here. What we have here, this is Lantern Project. This is a Fount to a Dietz Pioneer. I was hoping, when I was going to meet my friend, that he said he saw my CT Ham street lamp and thought he had one with all the parts. And I knew right away, I'm like, there's no way I got that lucky to find it stuff that quick. But I'm actually been hunting down parts for Dietz Pioneer for a buddy that has two of these that he wants to get going and put outside and actually burn, not like electrify them. So he's got two frames, just basic frames like that with no other parts. That's the CT Ham right there. But kind of a bummer that it's not CT Ham. But he really wants to get these things going. So I found these. And he has the rest of the lantern. It was crushed. You can see here he had gotten some dead solder. He said the whole top is crushed. The air tubes are kind of bent up. But he's got all the parts, he thinks. And even the metal ring that goes around the bottom of a globe, which is important for raising it. So we're going to work on this. This thing's pretty rough, man. This thing's in rough shape, but I think we can make it functional. It has, I don't know the anatomy of these things, and we're going to learn. We're going to learn together today. So that looks like baffles. There's what that looks like, those two things. So we'll look it over, and we're going to clean it up. All right, let's get to it. Okay, so here we are. Supervised baby is lit, and I do apologize for if you hear a hum. It's because I have my dryer is going, and of course I always have a number of radios going here, tuning in all kinds of things. So the hum is from my dryer because the laundry room is here right off the lab, and it's adding warmth and it's adding humidity to the air. So that's why I am happy to have it there. And me, because I like hitting stuff with hammers. Well, we're not going to really need this. I don't think my buddy needs this. But in any case, well, yeah, there's some interesting, there's some markings that I certainly can't, I haven't learned yet how I can, get that shape back, but we are in a functional. Okay, well, I don't think about it did. It would need some more work, and I could see ripped up a couple of these. Looks like the tabs were soldered on these. I've never had a Dietz Pioneer, so this is fun for me. So, but I do know a couple of things about some of the function. I think this is a timer, and it is a gear that lowers. I'm trying to remember what it does. It like, and I remember it does. It maybe gets the wick out of the fuel so it blows out. But I'm pretty sure that is a timer, adjustable timer. This is your burner adjustment here. Okay, oh boy, yeah, there's a lot of rust there. But I think we can, ooh boy. Well, yeah, we're gonna learn. We're gonna learn, man. Looks like that's like we can fix that. Solders came undone there. He told me that he, the guy I got these from, and I'll get the rest of the parts from, said he was tearing down an old junked house and was taking a backhoe to it, tearing it down. And just at the very last second, he saw that out of the corner of his eye just as the claw hit it. and kind of crush the top of it. But he did save, he did take the whole thing home, and these are parts that were just kind of loose. The rest, I believe, are still connected to it. So next week I'll see him, and we'll look at the rest of those parts. And that shouldn't be a problem to bring that down, put a vise there, and seal that up. But we got a lot of work here, man. Oh boy. And I'll be able to tell too that if this burner that I have down underneath here is that a Pioneer burner. And we'll find out.
It sounds like everybody disappeared.
All right, so Dietz USA. This looks like a match hole, and I'm really afraid to touch that. That's a little tiny hinge. I bet you that'll freaking bust. Oh, and that's a striker. How much you want to bet? Yeah, that's a striker. So you stick it in there, strike it, and then go up. Oh, so you stick. Oh, that's so cool. I get it now. It's a striker. So you put the match in, and you go, whoosh, and it would strike the match for you as you stuck it in there, and then lit that. How cool is that, man? That's what I think it means, anyway. All right, so what do we got here? Dietz Pioneer Fount, New York, USA. Patent, July 26, 1904, May 19th, 1908, December 22nd, 1908. How cool is that? What's that say? We'll get my sampling brush out and start looking shit over here. Says Dietz Pioneer burner right on it. I think I could come in a little bit. This is not a gigantic lantern.
Own 18-wheelers?
Yeah. All right, so let me see if we can get. Oh, I thought for sure that was going to be frozen solid. That's great. Got a nest in there. This is great. Awesome. There's another hinge. So that pops open right there. Okay. I'm not going to try to open that until we get this cleaned up and I can get some lube on that and make sure we don't damage anything. All right. Well, let me check this other burn here. Well, judging by the length, this is indeed a Pioneer burner, but I would think that this one is older. This one is quite a bit older. Judging by this, this design here. I think this is 1890s here. Pretty cool, man. So we do have an option if this is in bad shape. But we got our work cut out for us, I think, getting this one loose. So we're going to have to do some major cleaning and lubricating. Okay, we'll lube that up too. I'd like to go right over to the bench grinder here and get the big chunks off, just so we can see what we're dealing with here. And there's a little bit of green paint. A little bit of green paint. I'd like to get the big chunks off. And then we'll get in here and try to get that burner loose. Pretty cool. I'm pretty sure that's a timer. That's obviously a match striker. Neat. Love that. Learn a new thing. This is fun. All right, so we will go over to the bench grinder. That is indeed not brass. That is pretty chewed. But we'll get her cleaned up and try that out. I wonder what these are for. I wonder. So I'm kind of going into this blind. I could have very easily, maybe went and looked at pictures and stuff like that. You're probably not going to find many videos for restorations on these, I wouldn't think. All right, so let's get started. Bench grinder work. It reveals a lot, and I'd rather do that first and then think about things than go into parts right now. So.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on. The bed is weird.
Okay, so here we go. Over to the bench grinder with the Fount to a Dietz Pioneer. Awesome. All right, I'll be back. Well, okay, so Dietz Pioneer. That doesn't look awful. Doesn't look awful. Let me give this a little persuasion here.
We can work on that. That's not a problem. I'll bring the mic up a little bit, see if that helps any.
No, what are you using for a microphoning element?
Well, I'm talking
Let me take a little Dremel to this before I pry that. I want to make sure that we're just all lubed up here. I don't want to lose the hinge. So let's do that right away before even looking at this stuff. I'll work on one piece at a time. And I got a nice fresh wire wheel. Fresher. And we'll play with this. Let's do it. Alright, so I'm going to go start playing in here while I let that lube up. So, I lubed up the hinge thinking that would make it pop out, but it didn't want to pop out. So this is obviously all rusted around here. I have it lubed with Croil from the inside and out, and we'll give that some time. That's good for this metal anyway, let it soak up some Croil. So we'll let that soak for a while we come over and play here. Let's do some playing. All right, well, boy. My biggest worry right now is getting that burner out of there in one piece. Because that is really badly rusted on there. But I do believe we have a backup burner, thank God. Yeah, okay. So.
Jackie Gleason was the
sheriff that was chasing,
All right. So
chasing the bandit.
I'm gonna put 120 grit.
I know. Yeah, that was a great character. You remember when he had his son with him? I think it was his son and the other sheriff or something pulled him over and he said, he kept telling him, watch your mouth. He said, you can't drive that pizza.
All right.
And then he got out of the car.
Well, I'll be amazed if I can get this burner up here. Although at least there is a seam exposed. Looks like it's in there kind of crooked. But I'm going real heavy on the croil here. May want to leave this maybe even for a couple of days. Soak in there. But I can give it a try and see if it tells us anything. Oh, you hear that little pop? Oh, are you shitting me? It's gonna come out. It's gonna come out, folks. Unbelievable. I can't believe that came out. That's so great. All right, good. I thought I was gonna have to go to dinner and not come back to this for quite a while. All right, excellent. I'm gonna put a little loop here. Probably gonna need to lube up that wick to get it to move in there. Where's my sampling brush? Oh, that's so great. Man, oh man. All right. I'm gonna try a little persuasion here. See if we can get this going a little. All right. Hear that crunching? And the wick is moving. Okay, I will give the wick a little assistance. Pulling it out. Awesome. Okay. We got wick. We got burner, man. It looks great inside, too. There's no problems in there, man. This nice brass sheath here is fully intact. Great. Only problem I see is a little bit of chewage there on the corner. All right, I'm going to go to the bench grinder real quick. Let me kind of wipe off the larger amounts of croil so it doesn't go shooting in my face while I'm cleaning it off. And then we're going to take a look in there. I'm going to give that my full attention after I do this real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, yeah, look at that. Very nice. And I knew there was some chewage there. There is some chewage around. And here's the thing, folks. So, some people probably say, well, why did you grind that? That piece just came off. You got to go and find the bad stuff, man. We're not playing hide and seek here. We got to find the bad shit. We got to know where the bad shit is. Even though I'm not going to be able to replace this, but we got to know where the bad shit is. We can't just hide it. You know what I'm saying? Well, that's why. That's why I knew it. That's why I went right at it, knowing that that's going to come apart. We need to know that. That's all. Okay. Cool. Great. Look at that. I mean, it's great. All the spindles are they got all their teeth. Awesome. I mean, that right there. I mean, that's a great find in itself. All right, now let's try this. All right, so that's clearly not coming loose there. It's really thin metal too. Ooh, wow, it's really not wanting to budge. I'm cool with letting that croil stay in there. And I'll hit it from the inside again. Oh yeah, there we go. And in fact, I'm not seeing a whole lot of it coming out the outside at all, so it's sealed up pretty good with the rust here. But I'm encouraged because of that burner. So we're gonna let that stay and croil do its thing. Now we can come and play in here and look around and stuff. Okay, now we can see the gears for that timer. Oh! There's a goddamn elevator in there. Wow. All right. I think so. So here we have this dial. Here. Comes into these gears. I'm like, what is it raising and lowering? And then I saw in there. Let me see. You can see that there. And it's like, wow, soldered to the bottom. How the hell does that work? And then I'm looking around, and it's a plate.
Yeah, and obviously
A plate inside the tank.
around the boot, right? Yeah,
It's all around. And so these two baffles here, that baffle, you see that baffle there? I'm having trouble trying to look at my phone screen and kind of show you. So there's one baffle. There's the other baffle. They go clean through. And then, so it uses those baffles as kind of conduit in order to raise and lower. So you would turn this dial and the plate down there. Oh.
You know, I basically built a snow road by going up and down and up and down and up and down the driveway.
Come on, really?
And originally I used the rabbit to break the trail, and I got puked.
Yeah, so it raises, so it gets the wick
Yeah, the blade was
out of the kerosene.
10 inches above the...
And that's what puts the wick out. That is my theory anyway. I knew it was kind of something like that. I didn't know how it worked. Now I get it. It's a freaking plate. And unfortunately that plate and the, so it's not a double, layered tank. So what I'm seeing inside here is the inside of that plate.
They'll have to get somebody to...
I wonder if I can get those gears clean enough to flow through there. More coil. Now we can get some shit out of here. All right, let me play in here. And then I think before we leave this for the evening, I want to make sure I lube up everything that can be lubed up. And let the coil work overnight. Okay. Now we can come in here and play with this. All right, let me clean this up, and we'll be right back. Okay, by the way, I have a new recording device. I went and got another phone, just like the phone I've been using for all my videos. Found one. Our marketplace, it was locked with some kind of other phone carrier, but I don't need it as a phone. I wanted to do all the other stuff, just not the phone. That's not a problem. Now I can take calls while doing videos, because up until this point, if somebody tried calling me, it would show up on the screen as an incoming call, but it wouldn't make noise, and I was missing a lot of calls. So now, things are great. I can even do a 2-camera system now. So maybe we'll try doing that with something down the road. All right. So let's work on top here, and then we'll get shit lubed up. And it looks like this striker, it looks like somebody had kind of crunched it up, moved it out of the way. Maybe they felt that they did not need the striker, so they moved it out of the way, and they can get up past it. All right. Time to play. Actually, you know what? Why don't I have a junk bit on here? I should be saving this wheel for other stuff down the road here. Junk bit. I mean, this is good candidate for junk bit. I'll use all these up on it. All these crappy, really destroyed junk bits that have been through the ringer. So I'll save this, because these are more specialized. These junk bits, I call them junk bits. They start off as broom bits, and this is just what's left. But I call them junk bits because they just go in there and they get the junk off. And they seem to be pretty discriminating, and they don't really wreck things. They just clean shit up. All right, let's get back at it. boy, oh boy, from what we started with, man. Isn't that great? Yeah. I mean, we got some repairs, obviously, to do, but they're not horrible. And this, I'm not going to fix this yet until I see that maybe I have to remove it to do some other things here. But I'd like to be able to, I wonder how much I can get at those gears here. You know what? Now that I think about it, just now, I had seen on Amazon these that were like 3 inches long. They came out to like here. I wouldn't mind having a couple of those. The thing is, I know how quickly they go, they get destroyed. But I want to see. There's little cavities here where I can see those gears, and they're pretty chewed up. Man, I wonder if taking that off would help. I think it would, actually. I don't know. Well, I think we're a ways off from that. Okay. Well, let me see if I can get at any of them gears or anything in there and kind of help clean it up a little bit. Okay, so I think what we do now, that jiggling you're hearing in there is that, I'm going to call it the wick shelf. So what I think that thing does, so when you want to put your timer on, so it would take this and get it up out of the kerosene like that. And then it would just kind of go out because it had no fuel. And then you would, yeah, that's what I think. That's all about. Pretty neat. Boy, if I can get this little elevator to work, that would be awesome. Doesn't look all that bad, actually. That oxidation is not awful. So here's what we'll do. We'll let this go overnight. We'll make sure that we get lube there. And this looks like this little wheel area is the gear for this knob, and that's what we really want to make sure we don't fuck up. But luckily we got all these access points. I'm going to put some coil here and see if I can see it coming out the, yeah, I see it coming out the bottom. Great. That's excellent news. All right, so there, and then try to get some to go down in that little gear hole. Go, coil, go. I'm just going to try a little gentle persuasion like I did with the burner. I am not going to go nuts. I'm just going to do a little. Oh, I see it moving it. Oh my God. It's working, folks. Freaking coil, man. Freaking coil to the coil's amazing shit, man. It's helped me out of a lot of binds, I'll tell you that. It's something All right, I don't know what's going on there, but there's something stopping it. I think that would go up and down if there weren't that little piece of copper. I don't understand that at all. It's as if this thing was made and installed, but then made to not work. I wonder if I can show you that. Hold on a minute. Let me change camera angle before we end things here. I want to show you that because it's important. Okay, let's see if we can shine some light on this. Okay, so you see, where's my awl? So you can see there's this loop here, this little smiley face hunk of copper or brass wire, and this little wire here is connected to this gear. So when I go like this, it stops it from going up and down at all. And that looks like soldered on. So yeah, it's like a loop. Yeah. All right, so yeah, see that loop is soldered here and soldered here, and then that post in the middle. Oh, wait. Wait. Aha! There's a lock. All right, so if I move that, like this, it should work. All right, so that's a lock, but I don't know how it works. I can't quite see where the back of that goes. I wonder, something involved here, something. I don't know, man. Well, I have got questions. But I think the shelf will work. What runs that lock? Where does it go? I think if we hold that out of the way, this should. Huh? Okay, well. Wow. But I'm just so glad that we got that free. I mean, that is ready to go, I think. But that thing is stopping it from going. I'm wondering if this is broken off, the unlocking mechanism. But where would that have come out? And how would you have run it? Maybe it was, maybe it came up so you can access it after you open this. Oh man, yeah, sorry. I'm showing you all this shit and I was, yeah, well. All right, so I'm thinking that was a lock that got busted off or cut off. Because now I can see notches. Oh, it's the notches. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that is a lock. As I see notches on the other side of that. Well, in theory, me moving that out of the way should unlock it. Yes, it does. That is a lock. But as far as getting this elevator back up the rest of the way, is another thing. Man, oh man. Well, we're batting, we're doing really well. The way this thing started out, man, I was skeptical. But look at all the fun things that have come loose and everything. I can't believe the freaking burner came out. Can't believe this gear is loosened up for the wick shelf. And I'm sure there's a name for it. I'm going to go start researching all this stuff. I like going, into shit blind. And I also like knowing a lot about it before I get into it. But for the channel, I think it's interesting to kind of do this together, Boy, wouldn't that be perfect if now if this came, let's see. Look at, it's working. A little more coil. A little more coil. Come on, coil. Coil's being awesome today. Look at that. We got our match door and we didn't lose the hinge. That's great. There is your little match hole, pardon my French. Now we can get in there and clean that hole. Clean that hole. Let's clean that hole right now. And we don't need that length on it. And we don't need that much zoom. Yeah. Okay, well, here we are. Boom. Boom. Yeah. We have come so far from when we started here, man. Great. I'm not worried about putting a patch on that. I want to get that shelf to work, though. I want to figure out how that lock is working. It looks like this would go right up and down. Yeah, obviously there was a knob of something. I just wonder where it came up. I probably came up inside here somewhere. All right, so what's our orientation? So here is our orientation. Well, this would pop up. I wonder what these are for. I wonder if something popped up in here. I wonder what that little hunk of solder's for. Click. Well, I'm going to let that soak overnight for sure. And we don't need to. That's so awesome. I can't believe that came apart. Great. I'm trying to hold it out of a way where it doesn't hurt. It hurts. Okay. I need a little assistance. I can't help it. I want to see. I want to see this thing go up and down, man. What is keeping that from wanting to go up anymore? Plenty of croil in there all over it. Well, let's lube her up. Maybe it's something to do. Maybe the gears are still need a little extra something there. Something here. Wow, boy, the airwaves are getting funky, man. What is it, about 6:15? All right. Propagation's getting a little nutty. This would be a good time to do some listening, some DXing. All right, so that is properly lubed. This is properly lubed. This is done. Well, sort of done. Great. We came a long way, man. Wow. Way farther than I thought we would. I really thought that this was just going to be, everything's going to be completely frozen and full of holes and everything. We're doing good, man. We're doing good. And we can see the inside of the tank and, know what's going on. Well, I can't really see the bottom because of that wick shelf. I'm going to take this and clean it up. Click. All right, folks, that's going to do it. And, yeah, I will be back at a later time, most likely tomorrow, to come here and try these things out. And tomorrow is going to come up just like... All right, so we're trying to get this burner top open here. But it is sewn up tight. Maybe we'll try some heat. Just want to make sure I get as much gunk out as I can to at least I should have done this before putting the coil in there overnight. But coil acts pretty darn fast. I may just do a reapply there. It's getting a little bit better than it did when I started it. Now, at least now there's a channel for, I can see the coil going right down the channel. Go, go, coil, go. Ham radio going here to back, guys. It's a shortwave radio listening to ham radio. And there's a bunch of dudes talking over each other. They don't know they're talking over each other. They could be very well, many hundreds of miles on each side of me, not necessarily near each other. I'm sure they don't hear each other at all. All right, let's give that a second. Okay, so it's accepting the blade a little bit better now because of the coil in there, but I don't know if that means we're making any headway or not. Ooh, well, yeah, definitely seem to be making some kind of headway here. Oh, yeah! Nice. All right, I don't want to stress out this hinge. I'll put a little extra coil down in the hinge. And we'll gently aid it. I'm telling you, man, coil is awesome. It is worth the price, man. And I was really bummed, what I had to pay for, a small bottle of it. But when you think about how long that bottle has lasted me, man, and I've done a lot of crazy, heavy, rusty things, and I still have the same bottle after months. So I say it's worth it. Get yourself some coil and a nice little antique little oiler. This is for the little stuff. This one here is for the bigger deal. I like to do this, and I'll tell you why. Because when you got your coil here, you cut off the end there, and it just flies out of there, just way too fast. You don't need a lot of coil. So that's why I put it in here, and I can easily regulate that little tiny hole in comparison to that giant hole. Pardon my French. Okay. Now. Awesome. Coil to rescue. Boy, I tell you, man. This little project here is throwing a bunch of freaking roadblocks at us here, and so far we're doing all right with these roadblocks. Okay, now I can get this cleaned up the rest of the way. Awesome. And there's no rot. It's great. I saw one video, so I went and looked at video last night. I saw one video of a dude showing you around how this works. So this is supposed to freely go up and down and kind of go click, 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 and show you the hours. You see that little line there. So as you raise this up, it shows you 2 hour, 4 hour, 6, 8, 12, whatever hours that you set for your timer, and it brings up that shelf. But for some reason, it doesn't want to go past there. I don't know why. It's supposed to. So apparently that little thing, which I thought was a lock, it's just kind of a little pin. So these should be these little holes here that grab that pin are kind of rounded. So they're just supposed to, click like the, like a playing card in your car tire. Yeah, I just dated myself saying that. All right, so let's see here. I'll take a junk bit to the inside here, and then we'll work on that edge, make it real nice so it clicks down and everything and works as it should. All right, so we're going to a junk bit here for a sec. All right, well, let's see. Like to make the little clicky sound, make it work right. Might want a little extra smoothing there, maybe something a little harsher. That's what I'm thinking. This is a 120 grit. So we'll try a little of that around the rim here and see, clean it up a little bit better. Okay. Now that's a lot better, yeah. Okay, but we're not quite clicky yet. Bring that in a little bit more. Tweak, and we should be clicky. Did you hear that? Oh. Click. Nice. Very nice. Okay. I kind of like it. What that 120 did here. Well, we'll come back to that, you know, when it comes to finishing this baby. Boom! How about that? Now, I'm gonna find out why that doesn't want to raise. Everybody loves a raise. Doesn't go down, doesn't go up. Oh, we got a little more. Maybe. Okay, made some headway there. Let's clear them gears off while we do this. Whoops. Whoops. Sorry about that, folks. Yikes. All right, so let's see what's happening in there. Maybe it's just too much oxidation on that hunk of that that's down in there. When in doubt, lube it up. You can see it, so there's a line there. It says 20 hour right there. All the way down, 24, 20. Neat. All right, I'm gonna continue yanking there, and that seemed to be working. There. Okay. Ooh, nearly. Okay. Nice. All right, yeah, that's pretty oxidized, so we gotta clean that good. That's probably what our problem is. Okay, yeah, so you can see the lines there. Yeah, 24, 20, 16, 12, 8, and 4 hour timer. Isn't that cool? There's the shelf, is now up at the top to get that wick out of the way. Okay, so let me we'll do some wire wheel, and I'll come back probably with a fresh 120 grit like I did there. Let that do a job on it. All right. All right, so well, let's go with this 120 grit. See if we can smooth that out real nice. First, so we can see the text, and to make it flow better up and down there. All right. Nice. All right, well, now so it seems like that little clicker thing nice. So the thing that maybe it's just a little too. So yeah, so that little stopper that's just supposed to let those go click, 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 seems to be a little heavy. So if I loosen it a little bit, well, if I completely undo it. Yeah, so that's what the problem is. It's just that little lock there. It's unfortunate because it's really not something that could be controlled from the outside, because you'd have to sit in there and hold that darn thing. But you need it, otherwise it's just gonna fall. Well, maybe at some point I'll learn what we can do there. Maybe take a little bit of tension out of it. I just being a little repetitive here and let the coil get into wherever it wants to go. Loosen shit up. These gears in this little housing here can't get at, obviously. Badass, man. Okay, cool. Right. And I want to straighten out this striker. And so it looks like the striker, you can see, get my little thing here. So you can see this line right here of solder. So obviously this striker had another side that had gotten pulled off or broke off or cut off or something. So there's your striker. How cool is that? So from what I understand, there is a special holder to put a match on that extends it, but I'll show you in theory what happens here. So you get yourself a big old 120-year-old match. You got your thing going on here. So you go flip, and you lift up the little match hole, and you go, and you shoot it in there, and that lights your match. And you go up there, and it lights, obviously, a longer match. That's how it works, man. There's your striker. So somehow either that rusted or somebody broke it off, and it looks like it probably rusted off. But enough there to function. Still, how cool is that? Functions, 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 functions. I am happy. So, now what we need to do is patch that bottom, and I think it's too tight to replace. Well, I think we're going to make a plate and JB weld it on there and just reinforce this whole top part here. Question is, how can I? It's a tough shape, man. It's a tough shape. Maybe we'll just. Because we want functionality here for sure. And we got this to fix. It's interesting. I see all this same problem in the video I saw. Was this popping off like that? Well, maybe we'll work on that, and then we'll get this, and then we'll work on that down there. What do you think? Yeah, let's do that. Oh yeah, there's a strike anywhere, but I don't think the strike anywhere will work. with the angle. Let's see if it would work. Because there is your strike anywhere tip, but would that work here? Let's see. No. Well, it works, but not going through that little thing. Yeah. All right. What were we doing? Oh yeah, that and that. All right, let's do it up. Okay, so we'll start. We'll clean up this seam a little bit more in here, as there is croil and crap flying around. And then we'll get at it. Just want to kind of get in there a little bit. All right, let's see. I want to know how these little dents got in there and how I can get them out a little better. All right, so we got them dents out there. I use my little anvil here off the side of the camera angle. Give it some tap, tap, tap-a-roos there. All right, so let's see. Let's do some stuff here. All right, throw a little flux on there to be safe. All right, nice and tight. Appears to be. All right, so we got her clamped here. We got it cleaned out. We got some flux thrown on there. Let's see if we can get this back together here. All right, we'll give that a minute. Cool down a little bit. My impatient self wants to throw some acetone on there and speed up the chilling process. And it should have done it. Okay, we'll come and clap this spot here. Okay. Now, that's all fluxed up. Hope I don't melt my clamp. All right, so we are soldered. Boom, boom. Nice. That ain't perfect looking, but I guess if you weren't looking for it, that is repaired. All right. Done with that. And this. All right, so our next order of business would be this baby here. Okay, so there's my little.
Wonder what rig you're running there, Paul. This is one of my favorites. Here are 4X 150s, screen modulated.
Oops. All right, that's that one. I'm just doing ichrometer here. We no need to be perfect. We are not perfect here at Birdland Labs. Well, there's kinda what we want. Right there. Let's cut it out. And I gotta go watch some football. And get rid of this extra chunkage here. Alright. Let's do some cutting. Okay, well, we got nothing for the outer circle. How am I going to beat that down? I don't know. It's not something I do, really.
That
But
seems to affect me here and these frequencies. And the circuit card is maybe, I don't know, an inch and
okay, well, let me see here.
it has some LED segments on it. And boy, you can adjust the brightness of them. You can pick the intermediate frequency offset.
Well, I think what I need to do is put some little cuts. Well, let's see. Let's see what I can do here. A little pounded. Well, look at that. It's almost like I knew what I was doing there. All right. We're almost there, man. We're almost there. Make that fit a heck of a lot better, but hey, that's a start that only took me a minute to do. That's cool. Okay, I'm gonna go watch some football though, and I'll be back and we'll finish up this phase of our hunt for parts. We got a lot of parts to hunt for. We got parts for for my CT ham street lamp. I need all the parts other than the frame, and I need all the parts for 2 Pioneer lamps. So, and we have a Pioneer Fount and burner. How about that? That I think are going to be functional. Will this work now? Come on. Darn, that little lock is just a little too harsh. Well, look at it working. Okay. Oh, maybe you just gotta. Okay. All right. I was afraid I was gonna hurt something, but. All right, great. Look at that. I really thought that maybe it would break it off, but maybe it, you know, this is old construction. Maybe it's just that good. Oh, that makes me so happy. All right. Time for some football. I hope the Bills make me happy. They're playing New England. This is, I'm nervous for this game. Nervous. All right. I'll be back. All right, so we're gonna do up this bottom here. I think my little thing is gonna work out just right. We're just gonna put some JB weld it underneath. Did I put a hole through that? No, I didn't put a hole through. Good. But I think yeah, okay. yeah, I just think that we're going to put a good amount of JB Welded here and just make sure this is all covered up. Pretty much this whole area here, because I think all this metal here is all kind of compromised on this lower bucket area here where all that water collected. Because you can see it also rotted the timer, little timer shelf, rotted right in the same spots. So water sat in there for quite a while. Probably where this thing was hanging somewhere. This was probably on a post somewhere, maybe for decades, maybe not being used or anything. But, all right, so let's get this cleaned up really well to make sure we get a good grip on things here. So I'm going to go at it with some of this 120 here, clean it up a bit. It'll probably make these holes bigger, and that's we know that's going to happen. Unfortunately, I don't want this to catch on here because it'll rip a hole open, so I got to be very careful with that. All right, let's clean it up a bit. Okay, I think we got that properly scuffed up. I'm going to put a little extra scuff in this tin here, just so I know we got a nice bond. Okay, great. And I think I'm going to put a little, let's see. BG, we're going 12. Ziggy, what's today's date?
It's Sunday, December 14th, 2025 today.
12, 14, 20. Why not? Somewhere down the road, somebody say, hey, who's that BG, man? What's that date mean? Yeah, whatever. Okay. Cool. Let's make up some JB Welded and take it from there. All right, let's see. Make sure we're gonna have a fit. Yeah, that'll be good. Okay. And I do want to have this up a little bit. I don't want that JB Welded to grab a hold of that little shelf. All right, so I want to protect that. There. I got to move you a little bit. Move the angle of you so I can see what I'm doing. All right, so let's mix this up first. Just a little hunk of wood dowel. It's a good tool to have in the lab. Oh man, I am making entirely too much, but I don't care. We got plenty of it. I'd rather have too much of it than not enough, because then, you know, the stuff you just made starts setting while you're getting the other crap made. Your mixture might not be exact. This stuff's cold, by the way. It's really cold in here, so. All right. Oh yeah, you can see by mixing that it's quite cold in here. Okay, let's see. I'd like to get all out, right down around that curb there a little bit. This is a lot of welded, but that's all right. This will be outside. This is going to be used outside, this lantern. Well, I would like that spot to be covered, so I would like to make sure that I put a blob out here on the area where that'll be. Looks like I'm buttering some toast. All right, well, folks, here we go. We'll have this completed in just a sec here. I'm also obviously going to treat the tank from the inside. Just got to figure out how I want to do that. With that shelf in the way. Should be an interesting thing. Okay. Now, I want to put a weight on this, but I don't want to put my anvil on there. That's a little... Huh. Put some washers on there. And I can see all the way around. Got a good tight seal. Excellent. And it's not interrupting any of the air tubes or anything. All right. Give me a second here. Put this stuff away. Okay. Well, folks. So, I can't believe. Click. I can't believe that we got all this stuff apart and everything is back in working order, man. That's just great. I would not have expected it. I would have expected all these hinges to break, you know, just a lot more rusting. But no, not. Okay, I'm not going to treat this or I can do nothing because we have an entire Dietz Pioneer to build. So, for now, we're going to call this part 1 of Dietz Pioneer build. So this will be done, and I'm not going to do any treating of it or anything. We're going to wait until because we don't know if we're going to have to paint this, you know, or you know, whatever we want to do. So you don't want to throw a treatment on there because that'll keep your paint from sticking. So, boom, keep this just like this. This will all dry out real nice, and of course, before anything gets fired up or fluid is put in there, we're going to treat the inside of the tank with some seal-all. So, everything's working great here. This all workies. Great. I mean, that alone is a great find. So, and this being and not all rotted out and all that is awesome. So, all right, folks. Hey, until next time, folks, don't you go changing.
We'll be back with the Magic Tunes for the Armada Room's 2-hour disco swing party after this short break. Till then, don't you go changing.
Sit, Ubu, sit. Good dog.